Imagine standing on a battlefield, sword in hand, ready to fight. But as the enemy charges, you realize something. You have no armor, no shield, no defense. You're completely exposed. That's exactly how most Christian men live today, unarmed in a war against temptation, doubt, and a world pulling them away from God. And here's the hard truth. Satan doesn't need to destroy you if he can distract you. The number one mistake Christian men make isn't just struggling with sin, it's walking into battle unprepared. They think being a good person, showing up to church, or believing in God is enough. But belief without action is powerless. Most men are losing their battles, not because they're weak, but because they're fighting without their armor. But what if you could change that? What if Scripture doesn't just warn us about this mistake, but tells us exactly how to fix it? By the end of this video, you'll know how to arm yourself, fight back, and reclaim the strength God designed you to have. And the final step? It's the one most Christian men overlook. Yet it's the key to never falling into Satan's trap again. Stay with me. Step 1. Stop fighting alone. Ecclesiastes 4:12. Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. One of Satan's greatest tactics is isolation. He convinces you that no one else struggles like you, that real men don't ask for help. That accountability is weakness. And so you stay silent, you fight alone, and you fall. Jesus, the Son of God himself, walked with a brotherhood. He didn't do ministry alone. He had disciples, an inner circle, and godly friendships. Yet Christian men today try to resist temptation, lead their families, and build faith, all by themselves. If you don't have strong, godly men walking with you, sharpening you and holding you accountable, you're already losing. Find your brothers. Surround yourself with men who won't let you stay weak. Step 2. You will never be strong without training. 1 Timothy 4:8. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things. You don't win battles on the battlefield, you win them in training. Most men think they'll resist temptation when the moment comes, but your response in battle is determined by the discipline you built before the fight. You won't overcome sin in the moment. You train for victory long before it comes. The problem? Most men train their bodies but neglect their spirits. They'll hit the gym, hustle at work, grind to build wealth, but won't spend 10 minutes in the Word. They want strength, but they refuse to train. Want to be strong? Then start training. Read Scripture daily. Pray even when you don't feel like it. Develop the discipline of a warrior, because when temptation comes, you won't rise to the occasion. You'll fall to your level of preparation. Step 3. The armor of God isn't a metaphor, it's your only defense. Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Too many Christian men treat the armor of God like a Sunday school lesson, when in reality it's the only thing keeping them from destruction. The belt of truth keeps you from deception. The breastplate of righteousness guards your heart. The shield of faith blocks every attack. The sword of the Spirit is your weapon. But most men don't even know how to wield it. You wouldn't walk into battle without armor. Why are you walking through life without God's protection? If you're not actively putting on the armor of God, you are already losing. Step 4. Submission before strength. James 4:7. Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Most men think strength comes from fighting harder, but real strength comes from surrendering to God first. You cannot defeat sin in your own power. You cannot lead your family well without first being led by God, and you cannot resist the enemy without fully submitting to Jesus. Jesus resisted Satan not with willpower, but with the Word. He was filled with the Spirit, led by the Father, and armed with Scripture. That's the model. That's the secret. That's the key. Before you put on your armor, before you step into battle, you have to be fully submitted to God. In conclusion, this is your call to arms. This is the mistake keeping men weak, walking into battle spiritually unprepared. But now, you know how to fix it. Stop fighting alone, train daily, put on your armor, and submit fully to God. Which step hit you the hardest? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear how God is challenging you. If this message shook you, share and subscribe, because men of God need to rise. Let's armor up.